Hey y'all, we just got back from Delta, 22nd and 23rd of April. This is the rundown of what we did. Weather was in the 80s, partly cloudy for the whole weekend. And it was cold in the mornings, really windy in the mornings. And then it warmed up after that. And once it got warm, you're peeling clothes off. So, typical springtime time. Finally, after all that. With that said, the bite is not quite turned on yet, but the bite is still there. So, I'll start running down the day. Saturday, first thing, ran into potato inside the islands. I was throwing white chatterbait. Citrus shad is this. Just basically those Thule lines or ambush points from that. And then I moved to rock. Again, ambush points. My partner was picking them up on a Cinco watermelon black and red with a bullet weight on it, pegged bullet weight, lightweight, and just flipping that in the Thules. That was pretty much our morning. It was one here, one there, no wild craziness. How was your morning? You had a little bit different morning.
Well, we did fish tournament, 2 different boats. I took my boat out with a new prospective member and ran down some of his water that he wanted to run down. We got up there, we caught a couple fish up in one of the sloughs, throwing Cincos, and I caught 5 species of fish that day.
Which are?
Bluegill, sungill, crappie, lineside, which is striper.
Yeah, striper.
And black bass. That I didn't really pick up on that as much, and I'll get into that in the second part. But we picked up a couple fish, and we went to go run to do what I wanted to do, and I spun my hub again.
Yeah, round 2 spun hub.
Round 2. I don't know if I hit something, got wrapped up in wheat. I don't know what I did. I was in some shallow water. Yeah, so I had 6 miles an hour from basically Hog Slough area all the way back to B&W. So basically my day was I could fish what I can on the way back. Didn't really work out very well.
Yeah, counter tide.
Yeah. No, tide was going with us. It was outgoing.
Yeah, but when you're fishing, you're going opposite.
Right, I was going opposite. I couldn't.
It was outgoing. Oh, that was it. Tide was outgoing all day. A little bit of incoming, but then outgoing all day on Saturday.
And if you guys have not noticed, with all the water that we have had in Northern California, the outgoing tide is outgoing.
Yeah,
like it is
extra fast.
I fished around B&W on Saturday because I was trying to get there on time, and I had my trolling motor. It's only an 80
pound thrust.
80 pound thrust, but I had it on 10, and I was barely sliding forward. I had it on consistent, and just it was ripping.
Yeah, that current when it's going out, when it's coming in, it's slower because it's got all that water pushing it out. And when it's coming out, it's really dumping out.
It's going.
So that changed a little bit of where I fished inside potato in the morning a little bit. Afternoon for me, potato got too low of water. I couldn't run the chatterbait through anything. So we pulled out to Tower Park area, in between B&W and Tower Park. And there was Thules, big hard clump Thules, and that's when I was throwing watermelon slice Cincos, little 5-inch Cincos, pitching it up against the wall of the Thules. And we didn't call any fish off of that, but we did catch a bunch of small ones. And then after that, we kind of ran through the green toolies that were there, weren't catching anything on the brown ones, and then a seal rolled through, and we decided maybe it's a good time to leave. So we moved towards B&W some more, and that's when I picked up a Jabberjaw, which is, I forgot what color this is. It's the red one, in the short version. I started throwing this around and caught a bunch of dinks. Did not catch anything of size, but I did start picking up fish when it'd been pretty quiet for a while, been pretty dead, you know, one here, one there or something, and now I was consistently getting bit. But pretty much had my weight for the day. My weight was 923 for 5 fish. So they were not very big. Our biggest fish was like 2 1/4 or something like that we caught, that my partner caught on that Cinco. Most of the fish that I caught were the smaller ones. My partner had the bigger ones flipping that Cinco around. That was good enough for second place for our club tournament out of 12 boats. So to show how tough Delta was fishing this weekend. First place had 12 pounds. We had 9, and then under that was 8 pounds was third place. How was your afternoon?
I basically gave you my whole report.
That was your whole day?
Yeah,
that was your whole day?
We had 3 fish. Struggling.
3 fish and scrambling?
Scrambling. Well,
commuting?
Not commuting. It was more commuting, not really scrambling.
All right. Sunday was a little bit better for me weight-wise. Had 10:06, but felt like it was going to be a lot more. I basically ran the same loop as I did on Saturday, but changed up some things on that. Sunday morning started out, the wind was a lot stronger on Sunday. Like probably double what it was on Saturday.
Yes.
I had the trolling motor on 40 or 50 just to be able to slide forward. I was throwing the chatterbait. I picked up our biggest fish of the day, which was like 3 1/4, 3 1/2. No, sorry, 2 1/4, 2 1/2, something like that. 234. Not big. Picked up that on the chatterbait. Pretty much within the first 5 minutes, caught a striper within that right before it, like the cast before it. And then it went dead. I fished all of our toolie section. It was all just sparse toolies. Fished all that down. Couldn't get a bite on that. Decided to jump across the street to the riprap and was burning down the riprap and was throwing this Jabberjaw. And Brian's gotta go die real quick. I was throwing this Jabberjaw, and as I was covering down that bank, I pretty much decided it was time to move or something. In the middle of doing that, I ended up picking up a nice like 2-pounder on that riprock bank with the grass on the outside of it. And I thought, well, what can I do? So I went down a little bit farther, still in potato, stayed to the riprap, and everywhere, I should say everywhere, but the places there was small green tufts of toolies, I was picking them up on the outside of that in the grass with this Jabberjaw. And that was pretty much our morning. How was your morning? You at least got to fish this time.
Yeah, we got a fish. We went towards potato. It was super windy, like howling.
Yeah.
So we moved, went into a slough and found clear water. We started picking up some fish. We're throwing creature baits, watermelon red creature baits. These are kinky beavers. I was throwing man, bear, pig in the reaction innovations. Also, my partner was throwing brush hog. and we're picking up fish here and there. One of the things, we picked up another bluegill.
Yeah.
And we started talking about what if the bluegill are up spawning.
Yeah.
And
That's a good idea.
it hit me, and I threw the smoke. It's a chartreuse and blue. It kind of is a bluegill.
Yeah, it's got a good bluegill color.
Bluegill color in the 6-inch Cinco, and Strait purple.
Yeah.
Because that's another bluegill type.
Purple emerald or something like that, I think it's called.
And I was actually punching with a 7-inch purple.
Nice.
And a 6-inch flipping it around on a jig rig. And in the morning, I was finding the fish deep in toolies. Like you had to either be punching in them or getting in there good. And we just scrambled around and picked up a limit, called one. Called one.
Still dying.
Still dying.
Still dying.
And the tide was going out. We were getting towards the end of the day. And we went by and we saw a fish that chased my man Bear Pig out as I reeled it in. And it was probably, it was a decent fish, right?
Yeah.
Biggest that we would have had. And so we moved forward, left it alone. And I thought, why not I throw like a underspin? But the water was so clear, I didn't want to throw something with an underspin. So I took a flashy swimmer out, ripped the blade off, and threw a bluegill flash 3.3 on it and threw it behind the boat, and it was on. I had it on. I was fighting it, bringing it to the boat, and my partner ran back there, no fault of his, extended completely as far out as he could. Fish did a complete somersault out of the water, about that far from the net.
Yeah, those ones hurt.
And it is what it is, right?
Yeah,
but
ones hurt.
it probably would gone high 3s, mid 4s. It would have definitely helped my limit for the tournament, but
yeah,
it is what it is, right? I had the bites.
Bites, just didn't get them in the boat.
Nope.
Big fish for Sunday was my 234.
Yeah.
Sadly enough. I don't quite understand that one. Is that it for your day, or?
That was pretty much it.
We
we fished around up there and just beat it up, right? Like we looked for deeper water, anything with some green toolies and thick toolies. I wanted as many toolies as possible.
Yeah.
And just flipping in there, punching around, let it sit, and we were yanking fish out of there. One of the things also that I was noticing is, when I fish the Delta, and I don't really want to get into it, right? Like,
yeah,
on this is line.
Yeah.
I fish braid on everything.
Yeah.
When I fish lakes, I put a leader on it typically, but Delta, I usually fish braid all the way down. My partner was fishing a mono or a floral. I don't know what it was. Again, I'm not getting into it.
Yeah.
But he was picking up some more fish than I was.
It's probably because they're line shy. Could be. Since you're going slow.
We were going slow, and the water was super clear. And I know you guys don't believe me, but there are super clear water at the Delta.
There's 12
right
foot of
now.
Visibility in some areas at Delta right now.
But they are definitely getting ready to bed. Some probably have been spawning. Water temperature was in the 64, 65 degree range, right? That's time.
They should be there. My afternoon, speaking of the throwing braid, I throw my Cinco on pure braid. I don't even put a leader on it or anything. My partner was he was catching more Cinco fish than me. He actually was using either a fluoro or a mono, something. He was getting more bites than me. My afternoon, since I had picked up those jabberjaw fish, I decided I was going to go back to where I was catching the jabberjaw fish on Saturday that weren't helping and try to see what it can do. I got into a section where I was fishing again the weeds with tulies on the inside, weeds on the outside, and I was fishing that jabberjaw, and I picked up 4 or 5 keepers in there, enough to fill out our limit, and a couple that didn't help, just from running that jabberjaw on that outside edge. And that really was pretty much our day. We threw Cincos back at some areas that we got bit on Saturday. Came back on Sunday. We had 1 bite when before we were catching fish, so it completely changed that thing. But that was pretty much it for me. I mean, realistically, between the Cinco, the chatterbait, and the jabberjaw, that was it. And then you guys did a bunch of flipping, pretty much.
Yep.
So it is not wide open this weekend. It's gotta be wide open soon. Everyone keeps saying it. It's gonna be open soon. Frank's track, I did see a couple bedfish up shallow on Frank's. The water is super dingy at Frank's track, and it's not too terribly clear in certain areas. If you don't like the watercolor, fire up your boat, drive 2 miles one way. It'll be a different color.
Yeah, don't be shy of the watercolor either, though. Like,
no,
the dirty water, you could catch fish in it too. There.
Yeah, I just decided that I'm just gonna go fishing. I'm not worried about spawn. I'm not worried about any of that stuff. I'm just gonna go fishing for the day. And then once I got that out of my head is when things started to come together. I think that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. If you like this style of video, let me know. If you have any comments, any tips, any suggestions, anything that you guys saw, maybe you want to help somebody else out that's watching this to try and figure out what kind of bite you could get, leave them down below. And until next time, I hope you get them. Hey y'all. Fuck. What was I gonna say?
Blank blooper.
Skirt.